A new social media where you can ruin your digital footprint just dropped, and it's called Threads, created by the company that you know and love, Facebook, and it was created to be a competitor app to the oh so infamously bad Twitter, and there's really only one question that people are asking. Are you going to become a threadhead? Or are you going to stay on Twitter? And I gotta say, with all the terrible changes that Twitter has done recently, I don't see why Threads couldn't dethrone it. You know, Twitter should definitely be sweating in their taint right now from how nervous they are about being dethroned and replaced. Because they very realistically could. Threads could become everything that Twitter isn't. And it seems that Twitter and Elon Musk have already started to feel this pressure because they've already threatened to sue Meta over the new Threads app, which is absolutely bonkers. Someone creates good competition to your very subpar app at this point, and your first action isn't to try to make your own app better or change some things to make the community like it more. No, your first action is to attempt to sue the company that's just trying to do what you did poorly in a good way. And the users are really speaking for themselves on this issue because Threads has passed 30 million signups in less than 24 hours. And you may say it's not a fair comparison or whatever because they're already using established users and just carrying them over from Instagram. But I say hogwash, a bunch of baloney. People are interested in an app that is like Twitter because Twitter is a good format, it's a good little layout, it's a fun system to use. But the way Twitter's doing Twitter isn't fun, and it isn't good, and it isn't catering towards the users whatsoever. But just to go back to the lawsuit for a second, the reason that Elon Musk's personal lawyer says that they're suing Meta is that Twitter reserves all rights, including but not limited to the right to seek both civil remedies and injunctive relief without further notice to prevent any further retention, disclosure, or use of its intellectual property by Meta. What they're saying has happened is that over the years, Meta has been poaching Twitter's employees, Twitter's ex-employees, hiring them onto their team, and then purposely assigning them to work on Threads so they could use trade secrets and a bit of insider knowledge about Twitter to build Threads to pretty much make it exactly like Twitter. Their argument is that Threads is stealing Twitter's intellectual properties and intellectual rights. But Meta has came out and said that absolutely nobody on the Threads engineering team is a former Twitter employee, and that's just not a thing. But at the end of the day, this is just a big finger pointing match. Twitter is pointing the finger at them saying that Meta did something wrong, and then Meta is pointing the finger at Twitter saying, no, you're wrong, we didn't do that, actually. But none of that really matters. They're going to figure that out in court, I assume. But to talk about Threads itself, the layout, it's similar to Twitter. It's a text-based social media. But the way it looks doesn't really look like Twitter at all. It has its own style. It's not like what Kick did with Twitch. It didn't just like take the same exact source code from the platform it was copying and carry it over. Threads looks new, and it looks fun, and it looks cool, and it's just, you know, something, it's a breath of fresh air compared to the stinky fart that is Twitter. So I think that it is very logical and honestly very likely that if Threads keeps doing good things, if they keep, you know, making their platform catering towards the user base, the people who actually give the platform life, and don't make all these horrible decisions that Twitter's been doing. Like when they implemented the Twitter Blue thing for $5 a month and then gave you priority speak and all that kind of nonsense. Even when he bought the platform for free speech, Elon Musk did. And then they tried to gatekeep people and make you have to make an account before you could view tweets. You couldn't view a tweet if you wasn't signed in. They already backtracked on that as well. And then most recently, they did the rate limit exceeded thing for a couple minutes. I think they were doing it to cover up a bug or a glitch or something. But what they did was made it to where verified users could view like 6,000 posts every hour or something like that. And then unverified users could only view 6. It was somewhere in the hundreds. Anyways, it was a ridiculously low number. They were gatekeeping the amount of posts and things people said you could see. And Elon Musk's response to that, to people complaining pretty much, was go touch grass. Go spend time with your families. People on Twitter don't have families. They don't have grass to touch. They're on Twitter for a reason. They want to view tweets. They want to create drama, and they want to say slurs. That's why they're on Twitter. They literally eat, breathe, shit, and sleep Twitter, and you're trying to lock them out of their own home? That's ridiculous. Anyways, that's all the hate that I wanted to give to Twitter real quick. Just had to get it out of my system. I realistically think, especially since Instagram's already a very established platform and a lot of people use Instagram, obviously, them making this little subsidiary, a little spin-off called Threads that runs through your Instagram account is a very good idea because you have Instagram, which is Instagram for pictures and whatnot, and then you have Threads, which is the text-based version of Instagram, aka the secondary option to Twitter, which may soon become the primary option if everything keeps going good and everything keeps going bad on Twitter, which it seems like that's the case. Twitter's on a steep decline, and Threads really can only go up from here. There is a lot of potential, but there is also a lot of room for failure. I'm not saying that it's perfect. Obviously, Facebook has done some bad things in the past. Well, Meta now. They've done some shady things in the past, some not so great decisions on their part as a company towards their users. But I will also say the future does look bright because it looks like they're at least attempting to do something good. Because like I said, Twitter isn't really giving them a challenge. They're not putting up a fight. They're kind of just laying there and taking it. They're not even putting up their guard. They're just letting Threads beat the shit out of them. But maybe them seeing some competition, seeing that some people could actually stop using their platform, they actually have a reason to care now because they will lose money and lose users. So maybe, big maybe, this could be good for everybody in general because both apps could start bettering themselves and making the user experience better, which is good for us because competition breeds innovation, and innovation is good for the consumers. So if that happens, good for us. And it's really all I care about. I don't really care about the corporations and whatnot, the billionaires who run them and own them. I care about an app that I can watch funny cat videos on and then see, some crazy Street Fight videos where someone gets their leg broken in half or a tire smashes somebody in the face. That's the app I want to use. Anyways, it's like 1 in the morning. I'm kind of delusional. I'm very tired. I'm going to go hit the hay. I'll catch you in the next one.